Chris here with ADO's new bike. It's called the Air 28 because it's got 28-inch size wheels here, or 700C. City tires from Chow Yang. They work pretty well. And quite rare for me, I managed to test this bike out also in the wet, which I know a lot of you do ride in the wet, and it comes with these mud guards. It also comes with a bike rack. We have lights with it, and a 250 watt rear hub motor and a torque sensor. So the power delivery is very smooth. It comes on instantly and it cuts out straight away when you do stop pedaling. Now the battery is located here in the seat post. It's 9.6 amp hours or 345 watt hours. It's a 36 volt system and it can get us up to, they claim, 100 kilometers range, but I'll be putting that to the test. And the standout feature of this bike is the belt that it has. So it has one of those carbon belts, so no chain, which means no maintenance. You don't have to worry about the chains rusting, oiling them or anything like that. This chain here is also, this belt, sorry, is good for 30,000 kilometers maintenance free, which is really good to have. And finally, the brakes, well, they're 160 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes, and I'll be going through my typical standard brake test. I'll let you know how the braking performance is, what it is like riding this bike, what kind of range you can get, and what is it like with climbs, considering it's just got a single speed. There's no gears because of the carbon belt drive it has. Now you can get this optional basket here for the bike. It does not come with that, but it does come with the rear bike rack. And this headlight here, it has two powerful LEDs and some focal lenses, lights the path up ahead of me just fine, and it's good for nighttime riding. It also does have a reflector in it. Only the front headlight is hardwired. The rear tail light, which if you don't decide to install the bike rack, you can put it just under the seat, does have a battery that it comes with, and you can turn it on with a little button just underneath. And it's okay, it's good for safety, and it does have an incorporated reflector. The rear hub motor I've seen a lot of. This is a Mi-Vice and it's 36 volts, 250 watts maximum. The included kickstand supports the bike's weight well and I've had no problems with it. It has a Mi-Vice torque sensor and this works really well. The pedals, they're not brand pedals, so they aren't Walgo or anything. They are made out of alloy and they seem to be fine. Our front shock does not have a brand to it, but it does work well. It's got 60 millimeters of travel. You can lock it out completely if you wanted to, and it does have adjustable preload. The seat ADO selected is comfortable. It's got a fair amount of padding to it, and it's a nice synthetic material that they've used for the top of it. It looks like it's going to be quite hard wearing. So we have a power button here for our battery seat post, and you can easily unplug that battery completely if you need to. Now it is locked into place. This is great because the quick release here has a lock on it and they provide 2 keys. So that means no one can just go along and remove your expensive battery and steal it. Now we do have a swept back handlebar style, and this means the riding position, you are upright. So we've got our controls here on the left, up and down pedal assist levels, power on. Over on the right hand side, they are using lock grips for both of them and a palm rest there, and it's quite comfortable. There is a bell, which works well. It's quite loud. And then our screen. So just turn this on now and we'll take a look at the screen in the display. This display is very clear. We've got our battery gauge at the top. Unfortunately, it does not show a percent. Our speed, trip, odometer, pedal assist level, average speed. So the pedal assist levels, they go from 0 being off right up to 5, which is our maximum. So what is the Air 28 like to ride? Well, it is a very comfortable bike to get on because of the step-through design. We've got our 5 pedal assist levels, and the torque sensor, it does work pretty much straight away. And it is nice having that front shock. So just going down a curb like that, the front shock does take up some of that impact there, making it a little bit smoother. So riding, really smooth, very nice. Power delivery, very smooth too there as well. And the motor, you barely even hear it. So it's perfect for where I am right now, and that is riding along some bike lanes. So you get up to 25 kilometers per hour. That's the maximum speed you get with the assistance from the motor. Once you go over that, the motor will cut out. Now I do find that on the flat, because we've got no gears either, and it's just that one high speed, that I can normally get it up to about 28 kilometers per hour, and that doesn't use the motor at all. Riding position is upright with this style, with the swept back handlebars, so it is very comfortable. You're not going to get a sore back. You are not leaning over which is great. So it's smooth, it's comfortable, really nice power delivery, great for bike lanes, city commutes, what this style is designed for. Okay, so here is my climb test. Now it's about a 20-degree climb, and I've got it in pedal assist level 1, but I will put it into 3, and I can clearly feel, yes, that's helping me up this. Now, so far, so good. I'm putting in about, I'd say 40% effort. Gets a little steeper here. Now it's a good 60-40, and I wish I had gears, but unfortunately just that single speed with the carbon belt drive. So it's okay, it climbs, but I'm about at 70% my effort, 30% now the motor helping me out. Certainly better than nothing. Braking test now. So this is from approximately 30 kilometers per hour, 160 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes. They work really well from that white post. Whoa, easy to lock up the rear. Dogs are not happy, but I made it before this pillar here, and that puts the braking performance above average. These brakes are really good, even though they are a no brand brake, hydraulic disc brakes. I can stop when I need to safely. Braking performance is excellent. How about the range then? What can we get out of a full charge from the 9.6 amp hour battery, which is 345 watt hours, 36 volt system too with it. So I have right here 49.6 kilometers. I've been out 5 separate occasions, and one of those times of course was when there was a storm, so I managed to test it out in the wet too as well. So the range, and I've got about, I'd say about a quarter of the battery left. The range is, for me, around about 50 to, I would say, 60 kilometers. I have gone up a few steep climbs. That is going to affect your range. So the more you ride on the flat, which really this bike is suited for, the better range you will get. But I do see 100 kilometers being quite a bit of an ask to be able to achieve that, unless you ride a lot over 25 kilometers per hour because of the limit that it does have. So the drivetrain, it's got its pros and its cons. Obviously, there's no maintenance, there's no oiling, there's no squeaky, rusty chain that you have to worry about, and it's good for about 30,000 kilometers, which is excellent. However, it's just a single speed. So this really is a bike designed for city commutes, which of course this style, it really is all about that. And the swept back handlebars means that you're in an upright riding position. The seat is comfortable. You can get an optional front basket, and it does come with the bike rack, which is good, that later you can attach other accessories to it to make it a very practical bike. So the ride, because of the torque sensor, 250 watt motor, the power delivery is very smooth. It's a really comfortable, smooth ride, and I quite like these Chaoyang tires. The 700C tires, they are road tires as I showed you before, and they've got a nice tread pattern to them. They were fine in the wet. I didn't notice them being like extra slippery or anything like that. Just initially, probably because they were new tires, and it had just rained for the first time in a long time here when I was testing that out, but it was really good there, and they got good rolling resistance. They don't make a lot of noise. So all up for a city commute bike, and you're riding it mostly in a flat city, somewhere like Amsterdam, this would be absolutely perfect. It's really flat. Then you'll be able to get that good, decent kind of range, around 60 kilometers, maybe 70 out of it tops there. So thank you so much for watching my review here of the ADO Air 28.